Authorities in Nepal fear a lake near the site of yesterday's catastrophic mudslides is at risk of triggering further flooding. A massive search and rescue operation is underway for hundreds of people missing across Nepal and Tibet after a wall of mud and rock collapsed into a Himalayan river yesterday, triggering flash floods. The US Geological Survey said the floods, which tore through towns and valleys, were triggered by a glacial collapse and debris flow. Almost 1,400 people are still missing, including hundreds of tourists from more than 24 countries. 2 Irish people are among those still unaccounted for. Officials say 359 bodies have been recovered so far, but the death toll is expected to rise.
It swept through the towns and villages of these Himalayan valleys in seconds rather than minutes. Its path and its power clear from above, even clearer for those who were closer to it. After the deluge, this is what is left. Entire villages simply swept away. The size of the disaster leaving local authorities as well as international governments struggling to find out about the many who remain missing.
Access and information are very limited given the scale of disaster. We will do our best to ascertain whatever information we can.
At a hospital in Kathmandu, relatives of the missing wait to see if their loved ones are among those who have been brought here for treatment.
Almost 4 districts, they have been cut off from the mainland. All the bridges have been washed away. The problem is because the road connectivity is lost, we are getting all the patients by heli rescue. If there was road connection, we would be expecting more and more patients.
Those who don't find their loved ones in the hospital also come here to the nearby mortuary and the process of trying to identify the dead, the number of which is expected to rise as rescuers reach those areas still cut off. Help has begun to arrive, but added to the already considerable challenges are worries of further landslides or floods in a terrain that has seen large amounts of wreckage washed into rivers. Alongside the rescue operation are the questions about why this happened. The US Geological Survey saying initial reports of an earthquake causing part of a glacier to collapse now looks to have been seismic activity recorded because the glacier had broken off, with construction and climate change both in the spotlight as possible causes of this unimaginable disaster. Fiona Mitchell, RTE News.
Well, shortly before coming on air, I spoke to David Fisher, head of delegation for the International Federation of the Red Cross in Nepal, and I began by asking him to describe the kind of conditions they were operating in.
Some areas along this river basin are extremely narrow, and many homes, entire villages, have been destroyed. The surging waters flowed all the way down the river basin from the north of the country all the way down to the south. Unfortunately, it was in the south where a number of dead bodies were recuperated.
And I know the Irish Red Cross has issued an appeal for support to help those affected communities. But I wonder, how difficult is it for your workers to access those affected areas?
Yes, this global solidarity is going to be very important. It is true, unfortunately, that there are areas of Rotorua that we have not been able to access. They have been accessible only by helicopter, by the armed forces for rescue purposes. But the authorities have been working very hard to open the road, and we are hopeful that this will be done by tomorrow, allowing our teams who are already in Novikot to the south with relief items to come to the aid of those who've been affected there.
What about the damage on the Tibet side, which is obviously governed by China? Are you able to access Tibet okay and to get information from there, or is it proving more difficult?
Well, the Chinese Red Cross has mobilized to support people. They also had some difficulties in accessing affected areas for similar reasons. They've had also, unfortunately, some death and affected households and people, but they are now able to provide direct support to those who were affected.
More than 900 people are missing. I wonder, is there a hope that perhaps the reason why a lot of them are missing is because of the damaged infrastructure, damaged phone lines? Is there a hope that the majority will still be able to be contacted, or is the fear that actually the majority of those might in fact be killed?
It's impossible to say, but it is certainly true that the contacts are cut. And so we simply don't know. Our hope is that many, especially those who were traveling to the region as tourists, will have been climbing up into the mountains, which is normally where they're headed, but we simply don't know for sure.
David Fisher of the International Red Cross, thanks indeed for joining us on 6-1.
Thank you so much for having me.